Loneliness is not a character flaw. It's not a sign of weakness. You're not broken. You're just stuck around people who can't see you. Your brain is wired to connect, to bond, to belong. But when the right connections aren't there, you feel unseen, misunderstood, isolated. Here's the real kicker. The way you're feeling might not have anything to do with you. It's about the dynamics of human connection and the invisible barriers we build. Let's talk about why you're stuck and how you can unstick yourself. Here's what we're going to cover. 1, why loneliness isn't about lack of connection, but misaligned connection. 2, the brain chemical making it feel like you're stuck in this loop. 3, the truth about your social circle that nobody wants to talk about. And I promise, one of these points will hit you like a ton of bricks. Let's tear this down. You've probably thought, maybe even told yourself, I'm just not good enough, or I just need to try harder. Maybe you've told yourself that the answer is to be more social or force myself to open up. You keep pushing yourself to find connection, to feel seen, and yet it never works. And that's the problem. You've been told subtly or loudly that it's about you, about fixing yourself. The truth? It's not your fault. You're not broken. You just haven't found the people who truly see you yet. The ones who resonate with your energy, who share your wavelength. Dr. Matthew Lieberman, a neuroscientist at UCLA, conducted a study where he found that the same part of your brain that lights up when you feel physical pain is the one that activates when you're rejected or left out. This isn't just emotional, it's physical. The brain is hardwired to crave connection, so when that connection isn't there, it hurts on a neurological level. And if you've been feeling this way for a while, it can start to feel like it's a permanent condition, but it's not. It's just a sign that your brain is searching for something real, something deep, and it hasn't found it yet. Now, I want to paint a picture for you. Let's say it's late at night, and you're lying in bed, scrolling through your phone. You see photos of your friends laughing together, captions that read, "Best night ever," and "So glad we're all here." And yet, when you look at those photos, you feel like you're on the outside looking in. You start to wonder, why don't I feel that way? Why don't I feel seen? Why am I still here, feeling this way, even though I'm surrounded by people? That loneliness, that ache, that feeling of being disconnected, even when you're in a crowd. That's what I want to talk about today. But here's the thing. What if I told you that this loneliness isn't because there's something wrong with you, but because the people around you can't actually see you? And I don't just mean that they're not noticing the little things. I mean, they don't get you on a deep, emotional, psychological level. I'm going to break down how this works, but stay with me here, because the solutions are not what you expect. Here's the first point, and this one is crucial. Loneliness doesn't come from not being around people. It comes from being around people who don't understand you. You might think you're lonely because you're not social enough, or because you're not putting yourself out there enough. But the truth is, loneliness is about the mismatch in connection. It's like being in a crowded room, but still feeling like you're not really seen. When you're around people who don't get you, who don't resonate with you emotionally, it can feel worse than being alone. Let's talk about your brain for a second. When you're around people who see you, your brain releases oxytocin, known as the bonding hormone. This is the same chemical that's released when you hug someone you love, or when you feel close to someone who truly understands you. Oxytocin promotes trust, intimacy, and connection. But if you're around people who don't truly see you, your brain is starved of this vital chemical, and that emotional hunger manifests as loneliness. This isn't about willpower or effort. It's about the biological need for deep, genuine connection. And I know it feels frustrating. You might even feel embarrassed by how much you crave that connection. But hear me out. This need is human. It's normal. You're not broken. This isn't about needing to try harder. It's about finding the people who get you, on a level that's deeper than just surface-level conversation. Here's where it gets really interesting. Loneliness activates your pain receptors. In a study by Dr. Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA, participants who experienced social exclusion showed increased activity in the same regions of the brain that process physical pain. When you feel alone, it's not just an emotional issue, it's a physical one. The brain treats emotional pain just like physical pain because it's an injury to your social bond, which is essential for survival. When your social world feels disconnected, your brain is reacting to it in the same way it would if you were physically hurt. This is why loneliness can feel so excruciating. It's a primal response. So let's take the guilt out of this equation. It's not your fault. You're experiencing a completely natural biological response to being in environments where you're not being emotionally nourished. But it's not all bad news. When you start understanding this, you gain the power to change the way you approach your social world. You start realizing that it's not about changing who you are to fit in, but about finding the people who do fit you, people who bring that oxytocin release and make you feel like you're finally in the right place. Now, let's talk about the second point, and I want you to really focus on this one because it's going to change the way you think about loneliness and meaningful connection. It's about rewiring how you interact with people. Your patterns of attachment, whether anxious, avoidant, or secure, shape how you connect with others. Dr. Philip Shaver, a professor at the University of California, found that people with secure attachment styles are better at forming deep, meaningful relationships because they trust others to meet their emotional needs. But if you're stuck in an anxious or avoidant pattern, you might find yourself struggling to make real emotional connections. Now, here's the good news. These patterns are rewirable. You're not stuck with them forever. When you start to understand how your attachment style works, you can begin to intentionally shift your approach to others, creating the kind of connection you've been craving. This doesn't happen overnight, but it is possible. It starts with self-awareness and a willingness to break free from the old patterns that no longer serve you. Once you become the person who can create that connection, people will naturally be drawn to you. It's not about fitting into someone else's idea of connection. It's about creating an environment where both you and others can feel truly seen and understood. Now, let's pause here for a second. I want you to take a deep breath. I know we're diving into a lot of heavy science, but stay with me here, because the next part is the key to breaking free from this cycle. You're not just waiting for the right people to come along, you're learning how to be the person who can create that connection yourself. Let's move on to the next point, because this one is the most powerful. Loneliness doesn't mean you're incapable of connection. It means you've been relying on the wrong kind of connection. What do I mean by that? Well, think about the last time you felt deeply lonely. Maybe you were in a group of people, but there was a sense of emptiness. You may have felt a temporary high from a shared experience, but as soon as you were alone again, the loneliness crept back in. The truth is, we often mistake superficial interactions for real connections. We spend time with people who give us a momentary sense of relief, but when it comes down to it, they don't meet our deeper emotional needs. You've probably been stuck in these kinds of interactions without realizing it. This is not your fault. It's simply about not having the right framework for connection. Here's what becomes possible when you understand this. You start to choose your social circles intentionally. You stop wasting time with people who don't see you for who you really are. And you start nurturing relationships that are grounded in real, mutual understanding. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And once you start creating these kinds of connections, your loneliness will begin to fade. But here's the last piece of the puzzle, the one that will bring it all together. The only way out of loneliness is through self-compassion and a willingness to create connection, not out of neediness, but out of an intentional desire to share space with others who value you. This isn't about filling a void. It's about learning to stand in your own power and letting others see the real you. When you stop seeking validation and start offering authentic connection, you'll find that your relationships start to reflect that energy. You're not broken. You're not stuck. You're just in the wrong environment. So start by changing that environment. Change the way you see connection, and the people who can truly see you will show up. You've got this. And before you go, remember, this isn't a quick fix, but every small shift you make will lead you closer to the kind of relationships you're truly meant to have. Keep going, and the right people will find you. Keep becoming the person who creates connection, and keep trusting that you're not alone. You're just waiting for the right people to recognize your worth. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about understanding and relearning how to create the kind of connection that fulfills you.